and they tend to kill him.
And here we go, Shirley. We are finally here. The grand final is upon us. We are here in Marseille, and the breeze looks pretty fruity.
It's pretty fruity, it's gusty, it's shifty. It's going to really play to the teams who know how to maneuver their boats and are good at sailing on the seat of their pants. In the last few minutes, we've had a bit of a shift out to the right-hand side as we're looking uphill. So we have France, the home team. They're going for the whole shot here with 4 or 5 seconds to go. Can they get the nail off the start? Good start there by France, also by the USA. Australia a little bit further back there, but France done a nice job there, Shirley. They were fully locked in, weren't they? Hitting that line at 40 knots. Billy Bisson wants to put on a good show. He's going to be first at this turning mark. Yeah, he's got the USA trying to roll over the top of Japan. Australia way out the back at this stage. Can USA get over the top of Japan before they hit the zone nose? Japan are in, like you said, Shirley. France straight into the first mark for the first time on home waters. How pumped must they be? That is a good start to the weekend. Tricky on this downwind. Big puffs of pressure and lots of gaps in the pressure too. There'll be no relying on the software. This is all just experience. They're the first to jibe off, and it wasn't a very good jibe there by France, but now they're up and running. So they're obviously seen with that left or right hand pressure that we've seen before the start. They're into it now. They know these waters, and they are smoking downhill at around about 30, 40 knots. 40 knots of pressure. Australia have come right back into it. They were last, jibed early, and they picked 3 spots, Shirley. Massive hole for those boats that went too far, and we saw Australia capitalise on that. Japan doing a nice job there also, getting on the inside. So now the race is on. Do they have to do one more jibe into the gate, or will this pressure change, the direction of pressure, get them down here in 1? And it looks like Japan might be able to get down to the gate in 1. France are also the same. Australia right in the hunt as well. France might have a little bit of a soak they have to do, might jibe off and get in towards the break wall, Shirley. Bit tricky in there, but tiny course, Jodie. Lots of laps, lots of manoeuvring, lots of quick-fire decision-making. Bit on here with France. They've had to go in low, so that means they're going to come out of that turning mark with a little bit on. Australia might be able to sneak up on the inside if they do a good turn. But nah, they didn't quite nail that turn there with the Aussies, like you said. They've had a little bit of a disrupted start to their regatta. They've got Kyle Langford back on board now, so the team is back together. They just need to settle down and get this thing in and going. The Australians have tacked off. They were in the wing wash, the disturbed air of France. No choice, really. But look at those guys. All these boats didn't make the theoretical ley line to that bottom mark. There's been a massive right-hand shift in this course. We might see these boats go up this course in 1 dig. Nathan Outteridge, he tacked to cover the Aussies. Remember, they are 4 points behind in the overall standing, and he's pretty focused to draw them back in.
Top to 28, bottom to 26.
We're almost laying at this angle.
You can hear there Nathan Outteridge says we're almost laying at this angle, and you can see instead of going sideways to these imaginary ladder lines, they're literally going straight up the course. So this could become just a dead set drag race. Yeah, that puff has come from the right-hand side. And not only more increase in pressure, but also direction.
Got a bit slow for me.
Nathan looks quite comfortable there on board. There's not much chat, so he's looked fairly relaxed. Interesting in the build-up to today, Jodie, he has maximised his pre-race time. He's been sailing this course, the most active, the most focused, I think, of any of the teams we've seen. It looks like Australia might be coming over to the left-hand side. You see a big dark patch of breeze way over there on the city side. So they might pick something up there. You see Tommy just looking around, getting his options working out.
2, 1, puff on.
Well, we see Nathan looking around. You can see the French boat right on his hip, getting lifted on the inside. French might lay, Nathan might not.
It's still very, very close here between the top 5 boats. We're not sure where China is. They might have had a little bit of an issue there, but the rest of them, they're still smoking up towards the top mark. 1 tack, that's all they've done so far in that Team Japan boat.
I'm struggling. Yep.
And you hear there Luke Parker saying he's struggling to keep it up, but they made it up to the top.
Slow though, Jodie. Look at the boat speed, 14 knots.
very slow rounding. Really had to stuff it up into the wind to get round that mark.
Where this top marks is, it's right up underneath a break wall, so it gets very, very light and then gusty and light and gusty. So you see there with their jibe, very super slow, Shirley, as you said.
As were the French. 2 holes in the water. Tricky to accelerate from that.
And the French now trying to jibe to try and maybe get over the top of the Japanese. They've obviously seen something from the left-hand side, so both boats have decided they want to get out of this real light area patch. It'll be interesting to see whether the British who are coming over from the left will continue on. I think exactly that's what they're going to do, along with the Aussies.
They're very nervous of the right-hand side of the screen, and we saw boats getting stuck there earlier. I mean, this wind is gusting off the land. It's unstable. It's unpredictable.
Here's the big play. Great Britain and the Aussies have gone to the left-hand gate at the top as you're looking downwind, and they're catching this breeze pretty quick. The French were the big losers out of that. Japan are off midway down the run at this stage, but the Aussies, they've done all right. So did the British there, Shirley.
Going to be a double job.
Well, we've just heard USA are retiring. There was some kind of technical issue, and we'll bring you that news when we find out.
But it's just one jibe, and in there's a very despondent USA boat. They were on the podium at this stage. They were in 3rd position. So whatever problem they've got to get that sorted, because every single point counts here in this grand final in Marseille.
I know we were in 5th, but at least it felt like we were coming at good speed, you know.
You got Nathan Outridge and his crew on Japan still going one jibe straight down the middle of the course. So we've got a big wind shift, which has allowed them to go basically in one, as they say, jibing now to coming to the bottom gate.
Well, we just heard from the technical team. USA have board damage, and I wonder if that happened earlier. They hit something earlier. Their divers down trying to fix it. And certainly it looks like they couldn't find the solution.
And that's not something that you'll be able to fix between races. So fingers crossed for those guys that they can get it sorted. But a very sloppy little mark around here with Team Japan. They want to get over to that left-hand side. So they've chosen the left mark. Australia, will they go straight through? Yes, they will. They're not going to follow their rivals, the guys who they're going to be punching it out with for this overall title. They've gone to the right. So have the British. French, very slow in this middle of this gate, Shirley.
You can see it's a great shot there. You can see the big puffs of pressure right in the middle. You can also see, where it's not dark, where there's less wind.
Japan's still going out. We're going to watch them go through this tack here. Punched over to the right-hand side. Big spin there by Nathan Outridge on the helm. And Luke Parkinson on flight controls got it back up and flying.
Go Chip, boys.
They are a well-oiled machine. It's a pleasure to watch, isn't it? It's very calm on board. Everyone knows their jobs. They've sailed together, for years in the America's Cup and in the Olympic Games. And when conditions are difficult like this, Jodie, when it's unpredictable and changing quickly, that really helps.
And wondering if you're watching it from back home, you watch there's some guys running around in shorts and some guys running down in wetsuits. It's interesting to see how comfortable these guys want to be out sailing. That's a nice shot there of Japan. They went to the left-hand gate, one tack out. Australia split gate, sorry, and it looks like Japan have done quite well out of that.
I mean, the forecast for this weekend is a worry. Currently it looks sailable, but there's plenty chance that perhaps this championship will all go down to these fleet races. So Nathan pretty focused on getting those 4 points back and controlling the Aussies.
And that's exactly what you just said. They're controlling the Aussies. They've tacked. They're not going to let the Aussies get over to this right-hand side as you're looking upwind and pick something off their hip. So great work there by the Japanese. They'll come over here and they'll just dump straight on top of the Aussies, and will make it painful to get to this top mark for the Aussies.
Yeah, it's much tighter, Jodie. Look, the Aussies are really back in contention.
And considering Kyle Langford's been in the sick bed for the last couple of days, and they were a little bit disjointed in the practice racing, but they've looked like they've got their the teams back in, the band's back together, and they're ready to rock and roll, this Australian team. Tommy Slingsby even sounds different on the boat.
Happy to keep it fast for this next pressure.
Well, we're hearing Kyle Langford. He's the wing trimmer, but he also calls the modes all the time, just telling everyone what they're trying to achieve.
And this is what you call a dead set, a drag race to the top.
Copy.
Australia want to try and be a little bit lower.
Actually, no, the wind's on our hip. Do a good tack here and we've got a shot, boys. Getting softer.
Is it starboard rounding? We're going to go through the gate.
Pressing here. Oh, big
So
getting
this
close,
is
getting
the
close.
big, who's going to blink first coming into this gate. Japan getting there first. They need to nail their tack. Can the Australians split it again? And I think they will. Yes, they're going to. They're going to go over to the other side. Japan have done the right thing and tacked over. And will they get that right-hand shift early?
Did you check those heart rates, Jody? The grinders' heart rates on the Japanese boat were over 190. They are working hard. When conditions are like this, there is so much adjusting to do. That wing is in and out constantly.
But it's Japan, they've nailed it, they've tacked early. Australia might have missed that, and it's through the finish is Team Japan for a win.
Well, so the double job was a bit unnecessary. Sorry about that.
Not sure what happened to the Australians. They went way past that tack line, and they are, I'd say Tommy would be ruined the fact that he just went a little bit too far through that gate.
Okay, just gonna turn up here in 2.
Well, bad start for the Aussies. Just weren't in the lineup. They weren't on the case, and had a fight from then on in.
The British are coming in for what will be a third spot for them, which is going to help them out with their fight for the podium because USA, as we know, are out. Certainly at this race.
Boys.
Coming down, man. Hold on, lad. Cushion down.
Well, Chris Draper saying, well done, lads. I mean, they really need a consistent event here. The last two events,
Really,
you know, they've capsized, they've not
really odd
finished.
to me,
So
Yeah.
trying to keep it steady.
Nice work.
Well, great graphic. This, it shows you how hard they have been working, not only the foil angles, but also the twist on the wing. Look at the temperatures. I mean, the maximum temperatures they run at before the machine begins to shut down is 80, I think 80, 85 degrees, Jody. So they are right up there. Priority in between the races now. Cool everything down.
Cool everything down, open the hatches, get some air in there. As we see China just coming over the line now to finish their race. First race here in the grand final in Marseille. USA in the background and limping around, seeing if they can fix it. That is the big story because they were on the podium with a 3-point lead coming in to Marseille.
Okay,
so
Bell's coming back up.
the British
Here we go.
supporters out there, why there's life, there's hope, and they would be hoping they won't be able to fix this USA boat. Well, welcome back to race number 2 here in France for the grand final, and the drama continues with the USA team. What they have done, they have broken their board down line. So it's a rope that pulls the board up and down, Shirley, and you can see them frantically trying to fix it. We've got 40 seconds to go. It'll be a miracle if these guys make the start line. I don't think that's going to happen.
Massive blow for Rum Kirby and his American team. But with 30 seconds to go, they're winding it up.
And have a look at this. It's on. We know it's on between these pair. Nathan Outridge is trying to get below Tommy Slingsby to try and get him on the hook. I'd say with the 20-degree wind shift, everyone wants to be as low as this start line as they can so they can nail that first mark. Outridge just holding off there, 10 seconds to go.
If you're going to start at the top end, at the top of the screen here, you've got to be pretty confident you can get over everyone. Everyone looking for a quick jibe at that turning mark.
And he's done a good job there, Outridge. So has Billy Besson in France. Like the first race, he has nailed it with speed. Australia very slow off that start, like he was in the first race. But you've seen him come back in the second. But have a go at the local team. Billy Besson is fired up.
He's good at the starts. It's so important. Nathan's done it, hasn't he? He's got round.
This is the umpires. Penalty France, penalty France, relative China.
A penalty in France. Just when we thought they were going well, they've got a penalty. Oh, my God. Anyway, it's Japan now into the first mark in first place. China in second. Australia, with that very conservative start, are in third. Poor old France are still trying to wash off their penalty and get that thing back up and moving. They've lost 4 spots just from that one penalty.
Not sure what happened there, but a class act from Nathan Outridge and his Japanese team. I mean, it's so hard to get your time and distance right at 40 knots. And in these difficult conditions, the computer's not helping you too much.
He said to you in the after race interview, he said all it's about is just chipping away at these points for the Aussies. So if they can put a few boats in between him and the Australians, it's going to be game on for this final. There's no doubt about that. And Japanese have to jibe here pretty quick because they're coming into the boundary.
Well, the wind has
Fire
shifted
middle, top and pass
to the
building in
left,
3, 2, 1. Very short live. That's your bottom.
which will mean the course is not quite on axis. And we saw them being able to sail along that boundary much more than we did in the first race.
The Chinese have hit the boundary penalty as well. Japanese went in. Australia jibed early, so it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to come out of this that early jibe, and whether that will get them down to the gate to mix it up with their foes on the water in the Japanese. Time will tell. And there's a good shot of Australia and the British. Australia have had to jibe, so they haven't made that bottom mark at all.
Australia, they just don't look quite right today, Jody.
Probably just take a fraction
Just
of
not
roll forward.
firing as well as normal.
I think nerves, it's the big show. We're into the big dance, the final one, so it's all to play for. There's no next week, so pressure does funny things to people, Shirley. These guys are handling the pressure pretty well, and the Japanese, they're in and around the bottom mark for the first time in first. Phil Robertson done well to get out of that start of his in the second. Australia splitting the bottom mark again, which is what they've done in the final lap of that first mark. So Tommy liked that play. Japan still heading out to sea towards what should be close to a boundary pretty soon. They're going to have to attack. Australia attacking now, so we should see a cross fairly soon.
Hey, good breeze here, boys.
Luke Parkinson looked pretty cool there down in the flight control position. China attacked out early.
I'm interested to see this, Jody. I mean, we heard on board the Australian team, you know, good pressure. They were happy there. Let's see if they've closed that gap up.
Yeah, they look a little bit light there. The Japanese are not quite foiling. They're just one hull in up. They come just as we speak. So he just fired that thing up at the right time because the Australians are coming across pretty quick. Now can Slingsby and co get right over to this right-hand side and be able to get up into the to the gate with one more tack? This will be interesting.
The pressure oscillating all the time, and we can hear from the onboards. The Aussies think they're in phase with all the pressure changes. Let's see if they can make a big gain on that right-hand side of the course.
And there's your heartbeat, Nathan Outridge. He's 146. As you can see, the grinders, they're pumping away. They got their heart pumping, burning the calories.
They're young, Jody. It's fine.
That's it. There's Australia coming over to the boundary now and just tacking off. So this will be interesting. Can they set themselves up here once they get up and foiling to make this top gate? Put some real time in the Japanese, who no way they'll make that top
Bad
gate at that
tack,
stage.
though, Jody. I don't think they did so well. But let's see how that rolls.
Yeah, they bottomed right out to about 12 knots in the tack. So the pressure is on every manoeuvre. Touchdown there for Japan. They're in underneath that break wall, so it's very light up underneath there. And here comes the Aussies.
Have to be a little fast mode here.
Yeah, I think with the
They're on
shift
starboard
going down
tack.
below
They have
line, it's
all
better
the rights in a boat-on-boat situation.
little bit.
To see the top mark.
That's not handy when the skipper's struggling to see where the top marks are. So they sound a little bit more fruitier on board. There's a little bit more enthusiasm.
You're out the right there.
This is a moment. The Australians crossing ahead of the Japanese. Massive gains on the right-hand side for the Australian team.
Absolutely. So that we've got a good four-way boat race now between Japan, Australia, Great Britain, and the Chinese. Phil Robertson done a really nice job there as well to put his boat back up in the top of this race. So it's going to be game on here at the top gate. Who can nail this next tack and who's going to pick the right gate? Time will tell.
With the ever-changing conditions, it's so hard to pick your lay line. Very difficult.
China looks quite well over on this right-hand side as they go through their tack. If they can get that thing up and foiling pretty quick. A beautiful F50. Have a look at that on the water, that backdrop of Marseille.
Get to that right-hand side, Jody, and you are on starboard attack. You have all the rights of the boats crossing from the other side. Phil Robertson, the match racing world champion, made good gains.
Australia are going to be very, very tight here on a late. If they can get this, they are coming in super hot. They've definitely taken a place away from the Japanese. And they're on the chase now for the Chinese, so it's even Stevens between China and Australia at the top mark. Split tacks, as you can see, Australia coming over the left-hand side. Phil Robertson and his guys over to the right. Australia have actually, Japan, sorry, might have lost 2 places there. No, Dylan Fletcher and co are just ducking in behind. So Dylan wants to come over and follow the Australians. Shirley, you think they want to get away from that break wall and get out in that open air.
Well, I guess they have a better picture than we have. But massive gusts, Jodie, and so hard to control the opposition. You know, unless you get a long way ahead, so difficult. You just got to sail with what you got and try and link it together.
And that was a smoke and jive there from the Australians. They come around and they just kept that thing up and foiling. And as you can see from the onboard there of China, they are now leading this race. So any of you Australian fans out there, get up and get excited.
Playing at the moment.
Light patch here and 3, no higher slingers, rolling down a little, trim it upwards.
You can just hear the enthusiasm's back.
Copy that. What are you liking around the bottom?
Breeze is in the left now, isn't it?
Yeah, feel a little lifted just here though.
A little light, I think.
Copy.
Well, we heard
keep
Tom
coming.
Slingsby
There's 20 seconds
talking to
a
Jason
later.
Waterhouse, who's flying the boat, and
Really
just trying to get a
fluky
bit of
down the bottom
input
here and
of
a lot
who
lighter
likes
than it was.
what. Every time they look up the course, it looks different.
Four
But,
waves here, Milky.
yeah, look at the
10
pumps.
seconds.
I think
They're working that boat.
whatever they've been doing, stick to it because it's got
Stand by
themselves
there.
into the lead. This is the last downwind. They've got 1 more upwind to go, and they might be able to get that point back on Japanese, or maybe a couple of points because there's a few boats between them and the Japanese at this stage. But anything can happen on this course, as we have seen so far in this race and the one before, Shirley.
Don't think they're going to lay.
My right. Big trim, boys. Working everything here.
Okay, sharper turn here.
Copy that.
They've done a beautiful job nailing that lay line. The Chinese have to do another jibe, so that's going to cost them a little bit of time on the water. How's that for a turn? The first one before was a bit loose. They're back in. They're in the zone.
Really nice puff where we are.
Yeah, 30 seconds. Go, boys, go, boys, go, boys, go. Keep
Paul
going. Come on,
Campbell
boys.
James calling his
Come on,
grinders
boundary.
to keep on going.
And here's the story. So Japan is now 2 boats between
Going
them
faster
and the
than boundary,
Australians.
boys.
So Tommy Slingsby and his crew would love that to stay
Boundary
as it
check
is
this
to the
one,
top
okay?
of this course to the finish, because it just puts more points between them and the Japanese leading in towards this final here in Marseille. Very slow into the in that bottom gates, and Nathan definitely wanted to get to that right-hand gate on the downhill. Has he spotted something from the city side of the course, or is he just trying to split to get something else away from the Australians, who are dominating at the moment?
It's got headers all the way, I think.
Too close to both follow.
Well, Tom Slingsby saying they've got headers all the way in. It means that the wind's going towards the left-hand side. The VMG will go
I
down.
think actually we should get out on this next one up here.
Little waves, Milky. Copy it.
Yeah, choppy waves.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we take this one out.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, stand by.
Tom
Yeah,
Slingsby
the lead.
nervous of the right-hand side. Just trying to tack over and reduce his risk.
How cool is this sport? We can get right in amongst the boats and we can listen to exactly what the teams are doing as they are thinking it. Not many other sports gives you that access. It is incredible.
Pressing a little.
My right. Okay, no, probably
Good gust here.
27s, I'd say.
So left turn to the finish, right? We're thinking.
Must be.
I see the finish mark to left.
Okay, there must be, yeah. Yeah, quite a bit. Yeah, it was definitely 5 there, so wherever
Good
the
gust
finish is.
here, just keep it going.
A lot of chat today on this boat. Normally not quite so vocal, but there's lots going
So it
on.
could be 3 tacks.
Lots of different
20 seconds
modes.
to a boundary. Fuck, I don't think we're going to get through to this next gust. Fine. Okay, yeah, we will. Okay, big header coming. Stand by. My rake.
Okay.
And they're
Four
just
down.
providing the commentary. You can hear him. It's a big left-hander coming. They're going to get a big knock and smash it right on the top of this boundary.
Keep pressing very
And hopefully get, oh, it wasn't a very good little section there for the British. The Chinese had just rolled straight over the top of them. Can they wind that thing up on the British boat? Phil Robinson's just bowed down a little bit there by the looks of it. And if you look over the top end of the screen, the Japanese have gone way over to the right as well and just look like they're about to go through attack over on the right-hand side of the course. But Australia are now in the middle of the course. Here's the drag race. Phil Robinson trying to get across to get that wing wash happening to slow down the British team.
Forward here.
Yes, and a little bit of language coming off the Australians there, Shirley, so we apologise for that. China done a nice job there, Shirley. Very high on his ride height there. Here's Australia coming up towards the top. Looks like he's made a really, really tight little tack.
Well under ley line there, Jody. I mean, I think he probably tacked there just to protect his position, but you know, way off laying those marks.
I think they're talking about a left-hand turn in towards the finish.
Got to get below this one. Yeah, gotcha.
So here's the finish line in the top of the screen. They've got to make this
is
one more
This is the
mark.
umpires. China has a penalty relative GBR. China has a penalty relative GBR.
China, not us.
So China done all that nice work to get over the top of GBR. Now they've got to get in behind them. So Australia up around the top for the final time into the gate, where they'll turn around to the left and head in towards the city front here in Marseille. China have to pull the handbrake on and let Britain go in right in front of him, but that will be a drag race in for the second. But here it is, Australia coming in 36 knots right along the brake wall in front of the crowd, in towards the finish.
That's another one. What, heel angle down?
And there's a nice little tight turn of events between the British and Australia now over for win number 2 here in Marseille.
Yeah.
Well, it should.
That is such an important victory, Jody, and you could see that off the sailors. I mean, they needed to get that, and also putting quite a few points between them and Nathan Outridge and the Japanese boat.
And that penalty to China is pretty much just guaranteed. Britain have gone over in the second spot, China in the third. Very close race between those two boats. You can hear the jubilation off the British team and the anguish off the Chinese. They would be very disappointed there, Phil Robinson and co. But here's the story. Japan way back into 4th spot. So Australia put 2 places back in on them. Japan got 1 point off them in the previous race. Australia just took 2 back off them on that.
Please acknowledge receipt.
He's not happy.
No, he hasn't had.
He knows it. That this race will haunt him. That could cost him dear.
He said in the post-race interview last time their goal was to win every race and get the points back from the Australians, and that one there is going to hurt. Now, local team at France just coming over the finish line now in 5th spot. Remembering the USA are out of this race, so all boats are now finished. Welcome to race 3 in the grand final, Shirley, of day number 1. We have all boats back on the water, which is fantastic. The USA have fixed their problem and are going to race. So it's a full fleet that are just about to end, and we have 50 seconds to go, and everybody's away from the start line at this stage.
18 to kill. Japan follow you down. Okay,
Coming up to a BMG pin. 38.
This looks like Australia trying to run away from Japan there. They don't want to get hooked like Tommy Slingsby said. Nathan was hooking him, getting in a position where he could hook him. Nathan's pushing really hard to get the Japanese boat up underneath the Australian. Can he get it in there, or can Tommy Slingsby and his crew pull the trigger with 20 seconds to go and nail this start?
4 to kill, 3 to kill, 2 to kill, 11 to kill, 10, 9.
Calling the time and distance all the time. That's what you're hearing from the onboards. And look at the speed grow. Nathan Outridge.
He has
accelerating fast.
Smoked that start. It's a great start there between Japan and Australia. Both boats right on the limit there. These guys are now into it, Shirley.
There was nothing between them on that start.
It is on. So Australia need to try and roll over the top.
Speed here. Bobby, you might get round us.
You hear their outreach going. He might get over the top. Tommy would like nothing more than to roll over the top of him and get into this first mark. It is so close in between these two boats. Australia through there.
Yep. Flagged.
It's Japan trying to flag it. It's a flag. What a flag is put the penalty up. Japan trying to take Australia all the way to the right-hand side, Shirley.
Japan must do something now because they're right at the boundary.
2, flat lock.
All boats are sailing way past the boundary there on that graphic. China's jibing. France are jibing. USA trying to jibe. Off that graphic, a lot of the fleet have gone out, but we are continuing the race. China doing a nice job. Japan done a nice job on their jibe. Australia not so there, Shirley.
Japan really extending there. Great manoeuvre, pushing Australia all the way to the boundary.
So just full speed and we'll go the other
boundary, the little graphic might have been just slightly off there because all boats are still racing and Japan doing an awesome job. Australia,
he's going to have to try and jibe inside us.
You hear their outreach saying he might have to jibe on the inside of us, so will Australia pick the left-hand gate going out and will Japan jibe first and then go over to the right to try to get that split happening?
So standing by.
Here they go, right on cue.
You're right, mate.
Australia got a nice big puff right down there and just sent them straight down the middle of that course, and it looks like they're going to make the left-hand gate. Japan, as I thought, have to jibe. So the race is still on. They're tight at the top, and they are dead set tight down here at the bottom. Good job there by Australia. Shirley, which way would you go, left or right? Left or right?
These two teams are so impressive, Jodie. I mean, absolute accurate execution and split-second decision-making. What's going to split them?
France, they're not having a very good rounding at all. USA splitting the gate, so they're going around. So 3 boats have gone in towards the city, 3 have come out to the sea. Australia have tacked. So we should see a cross fairly soon because Japan would have got to that left-hand side. Look at the breeze down the middle of the course there, Shirley.
Looks good where the Aussies are. Great breeze on that right-hand side.
And off that graphic, that shot right there, looks like the Aussies have done a nice job. If Japan can wind it up, which is what they're starting to do now, and get something from the left, it could take a little bit of time out of the Aussies here.
Australia has all the rights. They're on starboard tack. Wind coming from the right-hand side.
25 target, 2 knots to
Just as we thought, the Japanese have done a good job. They've just got to duck in behind the Aussies who had right away on the starboard tack. But it is back on. It is close.
Japan now on the right-hand side of the course. So when they tack back, they are on starboard tack. They have right of way. Right is right.
Who has the phase sorted out? Australia's tacked.
Yeah,
Might get a little bit nervous not wanting the Japanese to get over to this right-hand side. 20 seconds to the boundary. Nathan Harry just calling.
Okay, 15. Little speed build, standing by. My wing.
They look quite nice over on this right-hand side. They've got to nail this tack. Here we go. Can they get a good foiling tack?
Just like that. There's so much G-force in those turns.
And they've got it. They are back in front now, the Japanese. Australia now coming across. They've swapped positions. Australia are going to have to go just in behind the Japanese. But there's nothing in this race. Absolutely nothing. Now Australia are going to have the right-hand advantage. Will Japan tack off early, or will they like the left-hand side? The top's very, very tricky because it's up underneath the break wall here in Marseille. So the breeze can be anywhere at the very top. But this midsection, they all seem to like the right-hand side down at the bottom end of the course.
Now it's about picking your angle, picking your ley line, avoiding doing too many manoeuvres. And quite often, if the conditions are stable, you can rely on the software, on the computer to help you. But not today. This is seat of the pants. Speed sailing.
You see here, there's GB just happened to take the stern of China. So China didn't have any right of way there, Shirley. So that led to a protest. But the Aussies still in front of Japan. The British, who are carrying a protest flag at the moment.
This is the umpires. GBR, you have a boundary penalty. You have about 2 boat lengths.
Going forward.
Oh, they got a boundary penalty, so they have to lose 2 boat lengths. So they were coming back into this fight as well, was the British team. But now they have to slow up. They still haven't washed that boundary penalty off. Here comes the split for the first time at the top mark in race number 3 here in Marseille. Will it be the Aussies that lead to the top? Will it be the Japanese who are on starboard tack, just getting in behind the Australians and splitting these gates?
If you get into the zone, the circle first, you have all the rights to get round.
And that's interesting. Tom and his crew decided they want to go with Nathan. And Nathan's just going to go straight
They're
below
so
him here.
slow, the Aussies.
Very, very slow. He might hate that decision. He might have been better off going to that right-hand side and keeping the hammer down, because it's opened the door for the Japanese team to get back in front of the Australians. Almost a 100-metre lead within 100 metres from that top mark. That's how critical it is to stay up on the foil, Shirley.
It was a massive error by the Aussies. They were slow and they went into a big manoeuvre and got even slower.
They opened the door right just underneath, and the Japanese could go underneath.
My wheel.
Straight through. Now it's up to the Aussies to go and chase that Japanese boat.
Yeah. Sorry, woman board. My right.
Jason Waterhouse, flight controller, Olympic silver medalist.
Crossing the Brits, correct? Yep, comfortable across. All right.
So the British team in the middle of the course, coming back into it. Dylan Fletcher and co have got a nice little right-hander there that's taking them straight down towards the Australians and the Japanese. And there's the view from on board Australia down towards the Japanese boat. Look at the British team, Shirley. They're coming right back into it. This is going to be a 3-boat race before we know it.
Flattening the boat a bit, Dale.
I think Tom Slingsby only has eyes for one boat, as does Nathan. They are locked on each other. This is going to run and run till Sunday. They're practicing for the match race.
There's a little bit to play for, so yeah, I guess that's where their eyes are. Anyway, this is it for the final time on the downhill on this race. Japan still in front of Australia now, just going through their jibe. Britain, if they can nail this jibe, they can make it very interesting into this bottom area and then get out to the favoured seaside of this work. So what will Tom do? Will he follow the Japanese, or will he try and split this time?
2, 1, coming up.
Big one.
My right, yours.
Very, very fast turn that by Japan. Australia a little bit slow, just had to wash off a little bit of height. Now it's a tight turn for them, but the British, they're back into it. Well, are they going to the favoured side, Shirley? Seems like everyone made gains out on that seaside of the course, with the Aussies and the Japanese going towards the city.
It's fluctuating all the time. I mean, I like the look of the left.
The British still pumping out to the right-hand side. Japan now tacking pretty close to their boundary. Australia tacking underneath them. The British nail this tack. They're going to be right back into this.
Not too high here, header is for normal. My right.
Here they come, winding that thing up out of the tack, or a little bit loose there on the flight controller, Stewie Bithell. But he grabbed it very nice. So it looks like the British might be just about to take second spot here.
26 knot target, Dale.
Nathan Outridge and the Japanese would love that. That's one more place between them.
A lot of talk on boards about targets. You hear that coming from the wingmen all the time, because conditions are changing all the time. They need to know what they're aiming for.
Board down.
Remember, this is the last upwind. We've got a super yacht right in the middle of Australia, so Australia have to tack here. They would not be liking the fact that that big hump of fiberglass is stuck in the middle of the course, because they would have loved to have been able to get a little bit further over to the right to get a little bit more gauge on the Japanese, which has almost put them straight in behind where they need to be.
Yeah, okay, no oil. Yeah. No, we just got to beat these other guys.
The pumps are hot. They're complaining of no oil, which means it's really they can't move the foils or the twist in the wing as fast as they want to. It goes into a kind of conservative mode.
You see here where the tanks, a little graphic there where the tanks and the pumps are situated on the boat. But that's got to be very disconcerting when you're about to have to do a manoeuvre like a tack. But they've got themselves back in the second spot.
There is so much adjusting going on to keep that platform stable. Maximum power in the rig. Australia paying for it now.
Below the mark, I think, buddy.
They've done a really nice job pumping themselves back into second. Can the British get over here? Nathan Outridge would love nothing more than the British to put a place in between him and the Australians. We've got about 400 metres to go towards the top end of this course and then into the finish
Getting lighter
mark.
about 5, okay? Just press on him a bit harder here. Okay,
We heard
up
Nathan
slowly.
coming down to give his bad air, his wing wash into the Aussies to slow him down and to control the situation.
You can see there by the wake of the Japanese boat, he came right over the top of him just so the Aussies have to tack early and hopefully not make that very top gate. Here comes the tack.
Well overstood.
Beautiful tack by both boats. Now it's the drag race. They said well overstood, which means they can come in super fast, Shirley, and the Aussies might have to be a bit slow.
Yeah, I'm not sure the Aussies are laying. You can see them, they're slow, they haven't got room to accelerate. And the Japanese are extending their way towards victory in that finish line.
And just as we said, that Japanese are around, the Aussies look like they're just going to make it up and around. But we're on board here with Nathan Outridge flying in towards Marseille and the city front to take a race number 3 victory and to get one more point back on the Aussies. He would love the British team to actually take a place off the Aussies, but it's not going to happen. There it is, Japan over the line for race number 3.
That was a lot of fun, that race.
A bit nicer when we talk to each other.
Oh.
A lot of fun. Tom Slingsby and his crew, I'm not sure if they thought it was a lot of fun. They had a few issues. They're over for the second position, but they only lose 1 point to the Japanese. And the British done a great job there, Shirley.
Great day for the British team. I mean, they really need a consistent result. Disasters in the last 2 events, and firmly now in 3rd place overall in the leaderboard.
Exactly, because the USA team have lost 2 races today, and they're currently last in this race, so that would make the British team pretty chuffed indeed. Here comes the hometown heroes, Billy Besson and his team from France is taking it in over the line now for 4th position. Well done, France.
Super, you heard him say it. They're pleased.
High fives and super. Gotta love the French. China over now for 5th. The USA have had a day that they would love to just wipe out. Coming over the line now for last place.
Both pumps at 80. I mean, I think most of them have had the same problem. There's so many adjustments to make that they're struggling.
Yeah, well, a lot of the teams be using a heap of twist in their wings, so that's just relying on so much oil pressure to be coming off that boat, and the pumps are just working overtime. So Australia had their difficulties, lost oil pressure, they still remained in 2nd spot. And Shirley, we are here again for racing here in Marseille, and we've been building it up for a bit of breeze. It's right up underneath this break wall, and it looks a little bit light for the start, so it's going to be quite tricky to get off this start line.
Not long to go to this start line. Light under that wall, as you say. Going to be hard to hit that line at full pace.
And here we go, right in towards the start. Billy Besson and Team France, will he get the whole shot? It looks like he's done another fantastic job right down on the pin. No boats foiling at this stage, so like we said, it's very, very light up the top, Shirley. Billy with a great start.
Great start. He has nailed them all weekend. He is flying. Great spot as well under the fleet. Gives him all the options when he gets to that turning mark.
And they've got themselves out into a little bit of wind now. And as you can see, they are up and foiling and smoking in towards that first mark. With China above them, Japan Australia are not too good off the start line, and the great British team are dead set last off the start, Shirley. Not a good start for Dylan, who's sick at the moment.
No, but look at the French, and they've got a bit of runway before they hit that boundary, so no panic to get the jibe in. Looking to extend, get some distance between them and China.
So our teams who are way down on the leaderboard, who are currently leading this race. France going quite well. China right in behind them. Another couple of boat lengths is Japan. Everybody heading over it, so they might be able to go all the way halfway down this run, one jibe and into the bottom mark, which would be quite nice for these guys, that's for sure.
French
Less
doing
manoeuvres.
so well here, Billy. Look how they've positioned themselves underneath the Chinese. They can jibe whenever they want. And as they come down this course, it is getting windier and windier.
And they're setting themselves up now for a jibe. You can just see the crew on that shot before starting to run across. So France being the furthest boat to push the boundary. China jibe very, very early. Japan jibe way earlier than a lot of them. So have they seen something like we seen yesterday coming in from the seaside, which pushes them straight down the course? Time will tell.
Calling the distance to the ley line.
The concentration on Billy's face there, Shirley. He doesn't want to lose this lead. You can see they've got little jibs up today too, so the smallest of the jibs, the smallest of the board, so they're anticipating a lot of wind to hit this racetrack very, very soon. China doing a nice job rolling over the top, and there's good drag race all the way down to the bottom here. Looks like France are setting themselves up for a jibe in towards that right-hand gate as they're looking at it. China jibed early, so can Billy nail his jibe? A little bit slow there on the jibe, Shirley, but
Just inside the Chinese. He doesn't have to give the Chinese any room on that rounding.
no, first into the boundary has all right, or into the zone. That yellow ring is basically the zone. So if you get in there first, you can do pretty much whatever you like. USA coming around fourth. Australia still back in the pack a little bit, with Great Britain way back, still in last position. Just a nice shot of France looking back in towards the China boat there. Watching Billy, looks like they're going to set up for a tax. You see the crew running across, getting in their new positions. Billy will spin the boat pretty hard here in a minute. As he spins, nice job. Another crewman goes across and away they go on the other tack. So beautiful shots there, Shirley.
We see the Japanese, they've tacked over. Underneath them, we can't see them quite on this shot, is the Australians, and they are very much protecting their lead on the Aussies. Remember, they're 5 points behind on the overall, and Nathan Outridge and his team looking to close up that gap. Whoever finishes first in the series gets the choice of where they start on the start line. So a massive advantage, and definitely in all their thoughts today.
Tommy and his experienced crew have gone over to the seaside, or the right-hand side of the course on the upwind. The other four boats going to the left, so looks like he might have pulled one back here from USA with that manoeuvre. So he's slowly pegging those points back between him and the Japanese boat. You see them just all coming over. China, France, Japan, all want to head over now to where Australia were. They're going to come over and hopefully set themselves up off this right, Shirley. The breeze is still very light.
This is a great shot. I mean, look at the difference between the two. The Japanese boat flying high, flying consistent, almost 4 knots higher when they get going.
You see there, the French have to give way to Japan. They've come off that boundary. They've had to take the stern of Japan, so they had no rights. They're on port tack. Now France tacking over.
Pretty poor manoeuvring there from the French. They could have anticipated that duck and got it all a bit more under control. Lost a lot.
There you see Mummy just in the shot behind there, just starting to get back up on the foils now. So that's been their nemesis all year, Shirley. They just haven't been able to nail the critical manoeuvres to keep them up into the race.
He's falling into us, so looking good at the moment for us. Yep.
All his eyes on the Aussies. He's falling into us. That means Nathan is very much in control of where the Aussie is in the race course.
Good angle there. Might lift here in this pressure.
Heart rate's up, Jodie.
As you would expect. I think everybody's heart rate's up at the moment.
I mean, look at the speed differences between the Japanese and the rest of the fleet. Particularly when conditions are changing all the time like this, they just have such an advantage. They are so slick, so practiced, so good.
Okay, setting up here, going forward.
So we're just going to see the crossing here. France having to go in behind the Japanese boat. It was pretty close there. You see Billy had to do a fair bit of work, which meant that his setup for the tack was all out of whack. So he basically had a windward hull in the water before he tried to tack, and that's never going to end well. Back to some live racing now. Japan coming off the left-hand boundary on the way up. Look at the angle they're trying to get that thing up and foiling, Shirley. Look who's coming back. They've got their eyes going. They're on the hunt. The Aussies are coming back.
I think that might just have been a long lens on that shot because actually the Aussies are a fair bit back. But it's so difficult at the top of the course, and we can see that from this great heli shot. Light at the top, all puffy, difficult. You've got to link those lumps of pressure together and try not to get stuck in the lulls.
The Aussies are definitely coming back there, Shirley. They're within 100 metres now of the leaders, and they've got good boat speed, 23 knots of boat speed coming off the Australian boat. Have a go at that shot. You wonder why these guys are wearing goggles in the rain, because the rain would be stinging them in the eyes as they're going upwind in 20 knots. It wouldn't be that pleasant on these boats at the moment. They're just struggling. This top end of the course is very, very light, Shirley. Back down to under 10 knots, and they've got little boards and little jibs. Look at this. Here we go. The race is on for first spot. Australia coming in from the left. Look like they've done a nice job on their tack. Japan trying to build.
Yep.
Japan have starboard right, so Australia are going to go right behind them, but they're going to split top mark. So we definitely have a race on here between Australia and Japan, Shirley.
I'm surprised Japan set that all up so they're on the left-hand side of the course. To me, it looks really light and difficult on the left there, in that corner. And all the pressure has been coming in from that right-hand side. So this could open it up.
Yeah, open it up indeed. They were second last at the bottom mark. The Australians were just in front of, they were back there, but they've got themselves pretty much back in the race. These blokes know how to fight, and they'll fight right to the end.
So light for Australia. We saw them both hulls in the water. It looks like it's a massive gain for Japan. It's a good job they didn't take my advice, Jodie. Gaining on that left-hand side. They obviously saw a big puff of wind coming in, and they're flying away.
Here they go. You watch them just go up and pop, and then the bows will start turning towards the screen here, and they'll start smoking themselves all the way down to that bottom mark. And if you were a Japanese supporter, you'd be hoping that the Australians aren't doing the same thing, because they'll be just bleeding time.
Software has us to and in from here right now.
Yeah. I'm not sure they're trusting the software
Good
here,
pressure all the way to boundary.
because the wind direction and the velocity, the pressure of the wind is changing all the time.
Looks like we might have a penalty on Australia.
Just hit the boundary, so that's just a reset. They just need to slow down a little bit. Doesn't look happy, Tom Slingsby. Big complaining about the rudder in the warm-up this morning, and to me the boat just seems a little bit unsettled. Not much communications coming off the boat.
It actually looks like they've lost their communications. They don't have their microphones or their earpieces in, so maybe, I know Japan had this same issue in race 2 yesterday, so maybe that's what's going on. All comms have gone down, so they're throwing them off and just trying to sail, somehow work it out by hand gestures or whatever, because that's got to be very hard once the crew are on the opposite side of the boat. So a little bit tough to do that without comms, that's for sure.
We can always just see where he drives as well. Well, he's jived, he's got, don't worry about him, we're just selling the wind in our boat. And right now we aren't laying. And the French had a shocker behind. Yep. Pressure coming here? Yep.
I'm not sure we're needed, Jodie. All the comms coming off the Japanese boat, sailing their own race now. They've almost stopped looking behind at Tom Slingsby.
Yeah, you heard there, Ian Jensen had eyes only for the Australians, but Nathan sort of dismissed it and said, come on, boys, we've got to race our boat. And that is one way to get in front, is keep your eyes in your own boat and focus on your own boat and just send it. And that's what the Japanese have done down this run. Now they're heading back up the work for the final time. So got one more leg to go, then the little reach in towards the finish in front of the crowds on the break wall.
What a race, though, for the home team. Look at Billy Bisson coming in, picking his ley line, keeping it simple. Very nice work.
Yeah, he led at the first mark, and he's still in there with a mix. So if they can win, I said it yesterday, if they can win, they'll lift the roof off this place down there in Marseille. Have you learned any French yet?
You can see, I mean, just it's a great shot of the platform. It's so much more unstable than the Japanese boat that we've just been watching.
Throwing it through the tack there is the French boat. Breeze looks like it's building in the little bit in the middle there, Shirley.
I think all the big puffs have predominantly come from that right-hand side. It is blowing old boots out to sea. 40 knots they've got out there, and it's rolling in with the clouds.
Billy Bisson is still in this race. It is not over yet. He is pushing this Japanese boat to the absolute limit. So Nathan was worried about the Australians. I think he's also got to worry about Billy and his team in France.
Yep.
Here we go. This race is definitely still on. Look at this. France are trying to push across. Can they get the good tack off the boundary? It's been their nemesis all season. They need to get their best tack they've ever done off here and put a little bit of pressure coming into Japan, who are on starboard, but they need to. Now Japan have got to worry about Australia. Will they forget about France, Shirley? What would you do in this situation?
Well, they're nearly finished, aren't they? Around this top mark, and then that dash to the finish. I'd be desperately trying to get France in between. You know, 5 points is a lot between these two champions of this series.
You see there, the breeze looks fairly constant where they're coming into at the moment. A little bit gusty, but which would be good for attack if they can have a nice constant breeze. And the French are just setting up for attack now. You can see in the background. Oh, bow down a little bit. So not the best tack, but it might be able to get it up and foiling. Out they go. So we'll watch this one on the Japanese, see if they can nail a foiling tack.
Here we go.
It's all right. Big build, lad. Here we go.
I think the big ooh said it all for us.
And the big build. It means they've got a long way to go to get back up to pace and get both those hulls out the water. They're not happy with that.
I think the little jibs and the little boards are not helping their cause up here, up underneath the break wall where it gets very, very light. So the Australians look like they went over to the right-hand side. We can't quite see them yet on the screen, but it'll be interesting to see how they set themselves up. And there they are. They've gone over the right-hand side all right, and they are now leading this race, Shirley. So Tom Slingsby has nailed that seaside of the course. In one tack, the Australians have gone from third to first.
More wind, more speed.
Not only just in front, they are 100 metres in front with 400 metres to go to the top gate. And it looks like they'll have one more tack. The Japanese will have at least 2 more tacks to go before that gate. Here's a replay of the tack of Japan. You see they threw the boat really high, but it just lipped out. The rudder lipped out. I think the new windward rudder lipped out, and the boat just sat down.
We don't normally see that kind of mistakes from this team.
But here we are, the Australians coming in towards the top for the final time. He's got one more tack to go. Very, very high there on the flight control is Jason Waterhouse. Aussie's tacking now. He's making sure he's definitely not making it a very tight ley line. He has gone to the extremities there, Tommy Slingsby. Looks pretty light through here, Shirley.
One hull, each one.
But they've made it up the top now. They've just got to bear away.
They could do a foiling tack and go, so we've got to be careful.
You hear there, Tommy, he's worried about what the Japanese are going to do when they're coming in.
Diff coming off.
They're still 100 odd metres
Your rake all
behind.
the time here, Milky. Your rake all the time, just keep rumbling. They're off the foil.
Milky, it's a nickname for Jason Waterhouse, is flying the boat. Just telling them that it is all on him.
Good mode.
And there's a reason why these guys are your current leaders of the championship. They've come from second last spot at the start. They've worked their way through the fleet. They have trusted themselves, and now they've got it right to the lead with only about half of a reach to go in towards the finish line of race number 4 here in the grand finale in Marseille. Australians, what an absolutely awesome job. And that's got to be tough with no comms, Shirley. You can see there, none of them got comms. Tommy's trying to lift them up now to see if they work. But that had to be tough.
It's so difficult, so noisy on that boat. We can hear the foil noise and the wind noise. And they're used to communicating. They're used to discussing, you know, modes as well. Really difficult.
Maybe it's better to throw the comms away because, geez, they were dominant in that last part of that work. That was insanely good. You can hear a bit of rejection, bit of downturn on Nathan's voice there.
Third spot though, China.
Billy Besson's obviously got stuck back in that work somewhere, but coming over the line now for second is Team China. After leading most of that race, they would be pretty disappointed with losing that lead. Team China, look how light it is through here, Shirley. It's right up underneath this break wall. Big crowds still on the break wall.
Sorry about that round up.
Good result by the Chinese. I mean, so much illness in that camp, really struggling to front a team today, but great result.
Okay, so there we go. The Australians have come from nowhere to take that lead. Well done to the Aussies.
Je pense que on n'avait pas. Dans ces moments-là, faut que je fasse un call, on vole pas. Ouais. On attend, on reconstruit la vitesse. Parce que là, quand je suis à 90 pendant tout un bord.
It's too hard to tell. Like, it's just, I wasn't even looking at it, I was just looking at the marks, the ley lines. I think it was better though. I don't remember going, that's terrible.
Do you want an interview or talking about an interview?
Hey boys, is everything okay with the boat? All good with the boat?
Boat is okay. Starboard forward.
Okay, we are back for race number 5 here in the grand finale, Shirley.
Well, thankfully we can hear the Aussies in the first race. They didn't have any comms, so they'll be pleased about that. Pretty hard to drive and sail these boats in this.
We've had a slight wind change. The breeze has gone 15 degrees to the right, so we've had a little bit of a course adjustment, hence the delay, and the boat's getting their comms and other technical issues fixed. But anyway, we have 42 seconds to go. We are still on small jibs and small rudders, foils, so the breeze isn't like we thought in the forecast. So they might find it a little bit hard here, Shirley, to tack and jibe these boats up on the foils.
Well, we saw how powerful the Japanese starting style was, you know, get it up from a long way away and send it to that line. But in these conditions, that could be much harder to pull off.
You can hear there Tommy Slingsby saying he's a little bit early. He's just trying to wash a little bit of speed off. China's way down the bottom. Japan has to really slow up here.
Oh, that's a big error. Look how slow they are.
Here we go.
And off they go. So Phil Robinson might have got that start. Billy Besson once again. He's been starting fantastic on that French boat for this regatta, Shirley.
Yeah, I got him.
We can see the wing wash on the screen. The bad air coming off the Japanese and hitting everyone behind. But great start from China. Buoyed up by that third place in the last race.
For the Australian fans out there, don't despair because they had a very similar start in the last one and ended up coming back and winning. So it ain't over yet. But it's Japan going over the top of the rest of the fleet here, coming into the first jibe mark in good position with nice boat speed. 32 knots in about 8 knots of wind. That is pretty incredible.
Beautifully done by the Japanese. Got the inside position. They can now decide to carry on and jibe whenever they want.
You see a shot back there to the whole fleet. Everyone's starting to do their jibes. China.
Aussies jibing right at the mark. They like the right-hand side of the screen in the last race and, well, maybe hoping just to get something out there, get them back in the game.
And you can see the angle all the boats are doing on the jibe, which means it's very, very light. So they need to get the boat in, get the boat speed built back up so they get up on the foils to be able to send it downhill like the Chinese are doing right now.
Okay, getting better from here.
Jody, today's weather has been the top of the week. 20 knots plus, gusting 30. And actually, so different.
When's the weather ever been correct ever? Anyway, they've got to deal with what they've got to deal with, and that is all we can do here in any sailing event. And China are doing a nice job in leading this fleet downhill.
The boat will be jibed before that boat. 15 seconds. Okay. A little further. Little trim. Little waves. Okay, stand by. More down. 2, 1,
Great illustration there, Shirley, of the communication that comes off the boat. So important everybody knows what they did, so it's a big effort that Australia could win that race, yet the last race without any comms at all. But Phil Robinson is still leading this race. He has done a great job at getting downwind here. Japan's come back into the mix as well. They've come from probably a very light end spot. They were the furthest to go over into that ley line at the very top and struggled to come out. But he's found something.
Chinese firmly in the battle for that last place on the podium. Third spot, it means a lot. Currently 5 points adrift of Great Britain. But if the positions stay like this, it could be very much on.
Maybe they need a virus in the group every day at race time because they are going so well. There's a little bit of chat they weren't even going to be sailing today because of the virus, but they're handling it quite well because currently they're leading the Japanese, and then it looks like the Aussies are coming into the bottom mark now in third spot. And they're all, at this stage, choosing this right-hand gate downhill.
Aussies great speed round that turning mark. They never drop below 23, 24.
The only boat at this stage not to choose that one is Dylan Fletcher, who's also got a virus on board. There's viruses everywhere in the fleet at the moment, so which isn't handy, but they're dealing with it. Looks all right there, Dylan. He came around in a nice lift. So is it a drag race now over to this right-hand side?
And lock it in here, lads. Coming up, Trip.
There's 1 second.
Yeah, it looks like the British have really closed up that gap, and we heard the wing trimmer Chris Draper saying, lock it in, lads, just really drive for pace.
Brett, a little bit.
Fluid gate has been shortened to 0.82. Fluid gate has moved upwind.
So we've just heard the course has been slightly shortened just to get that top mark away from that big break wall, so that it helps these guys with their falling capabilities. But China are still leading from Japan. Great Britain had a nice close cross there with the Australians.
this would be such a result for China. A really difficult start to the season.
Just slow it down slightly.
Yeah.
Disaster in San
Just a
Francisco
little
and
bit
have been
higher on the
getting
wing all
better
the
and
time,
better.
please.
There we go, Phil Robertson's
Keep
heart rate.
bringing. Slow it down, Phil.
Only
Slow it
50%.
down, Phil.
Up in 2, 1.
Good. Nice header. Nice lift.
Okay. Not far off attack here, guys.
Phil's hardly got a
Okay, stand
pulse.
by.
He's not stressed out by the day.
The other guys, the other one's the grinder. He's running at 90% max, so you can see he does all the work on these boats.
You know, Phil Robertson, he's used to a bit of tension. Match race world champion. He takes stress in his stride.
He's taking stress in his stride quite well at the moment because he's leading two of the best in Nathan Outridge and Tommy Slingsby.
Quick, setting up.
Slow though, the Chinese
Going forward.
just looking at their speeds, look a little slow.
Mate,
Here we go. Oh, sorry.
it's alright. Keep going. We're going good. Here we go.
Then taking off.
Yep.
You hear the despair there coming off the
Okay,
Japanese. Nathan wasn't quite happy with how he
Little
entered
soft
into
and the
that
pressure
tack.
coming.
But have
There's
a go at the
only really
Australians
light,
coming
right.
back into it. They were
My right.
second last again off the
Tire
start,
ducking.
and they're pretty much doing exactly what they did in race one. They're just coming back through this fleet,
Pace on, and
pretty
then
much
if we
sending
get
a warning
any
that they've
lift, we'll
got plenty
take
of boat speed, Shirley.
Lower fucker.
That's
Yeah,
one
coming.
thing they definitely do have.
We're going to say taxi
I think the
on, coming
Aussies
up here,
change
so pace
here
on first.
very well. Kyle Langford, the wing trimmer, it's his job. He calls the mode. He's in
Okay,
charge
setting
of
up, my way.
pace, and they just seem to be able to
Going
link
forward.
the pressure together to maximise what they've got. And
Okay,
we don't see
here we
them
are.
often with two hulls in the water.
I will.
They're not going to like this.
Stand by.
Nathan Outridge and the Japanese dumping all over the top of them just to give them as much wing wash as they can.
2, 1. Turning.
But it's still Phil Robertson and the Chinese team. They haven't won a race yet all series, so will this be the day? They've got
Japanese
one
just
more
coming
windward
below
leg.
here.
They've got to go back down the bottom
Okay,
and back
popping
up the
in
top
5.
again
Four,
Go.
3, 2,
and then
1.
into the
Popping.
finish. But they've
Inside
got
righty.
two very fast and hungry
Pop first,
people
Sorry.
in Nathan Outridge and Tom Slingsby coming at them. They want the wins.
Nice. Okay, now take the height.
Want to go high mode?
Take the height lost the rudders.
Okay, keep going.
So take height, take height.
Got
take
it.
height.
Yep, going.
Japanese boat had to go behind them. They were give-way boats.
We don't push it in, take off.
Landing right turn.
Easy as you can. Copy that. Go early, yeah.
My right.
Yep.
Sit down.
So here they want the right-hand gate there.
Yes.
Now we are. Sit down. Stand by 10. 2.
Look at the gates. I mean, a massive skew
Go, boys. Go. Go.
in
Go.
terms
Go.
of angle. The
Someone drop
one
that
nearest
flag.
us at the bottom of the screen,
Flag it.
way closer.
Almost right sailing.
I think they thought they might have they caught Phil Robertson and the
Okay, a little
Chinese
square,
out there,
then
but
we'll
I
be
think they're
jumping
in the
back to the
zone
middle here.
by the time that the Japanese come over. So the Chinese now trying to get up on the foils. He'll start turning that bow around right on cue. There he goes,
Right,
sending
right.
it downhill. Nathan Outridge and the Japanese foiled all the way around there, Mark.
I'm not sure why Nathan necessarily flagged that. If you get into the zone first, you have all the rights to turn.
So Australia also want to come over this right-hand side. So at this stage, Nathan Outridge and his Japanese are the only ones.
Can you repeat the course change, over?
Chinese flying high, over a metre at times.
Course change is lure gate shortened up.
You're right.
0.75 nautical miles.
On lane.
Lure gate has been shortened.
Okay, so as you hear there, the leeward gate has been
Leeward
shortened
gate's
up,
just
so
short.
they've
We're on
made the
currently. Go,
adjustment
Victor,
down the bottom.
Coming up.
Okay, quick down off
But
that.
have a look what's happened to
Massive
Japan.
gains.
They went
Gust
over to the
coming, big
left-hand
gust coming.
gate, went over, and they have got
Down it
big losses. It's
Keep it
all about
sensible,
China
looking
just
for left
sending it
turn bottom,
downhill
okay?
now.
Copy that.
Working
Remember,
the
they went
right.
around
Are
this
we
top
hot?
mark pretty much
Yellow,
together, Shirley.
slightly hot. Good there.
Driving left.
Massive loss from Japan.
Centre.
They are in super struggle, and here's the cross. Phil Robertson was already in the zone. You see his lights are flashing, saying he's within the zone, the green light on the back. So Nathan Outridge had to just take him at his stern. Even though he's on starboard,
Almost right sailing.
he was still pretty safe there, Phil. So well done for Phil and his team for holding their
Okay,
nerve on
trying to
that
get the
one.
hook up here. Port up. Great.
Phil Robertson's good at this. The more sniggly and difficult and street fighting it is, he's absolutely in his element. Flying the boat really hard. I mean, just looking at some of their stats, they're up over a metre sometimes. If you're really confident in their pace.
And you can see the Aussies also went the same way as the Chinese, and they have also put a big dent in the Japanese. They're in the second spot now of the Aussies. So it was all about getting out of that seaside with that big wind shift that goes to the right. It was funny that the Japanese thought that they'd want to go up underneath that break wall. It was pretty puffy and light. So bad mistake there by Nathan and his crew. He'd be ruining that right now.
Okay. Turning up here in hard turn in 2, 1.
Tommy's keen to go over to the right down low. I think this is more about setting yourself up to get one tack off this boundary and then get into the middle of the course back over on the seaside. Shirley, how would you read
I think we've got to go pretty early here. Stand by, building.
Touch and go.
Ease, big ease.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he looks headed and light there. I'd be trying to get out of that corner.
Copy.
Nice, Tony.
And if he gets headed going in, it means he's going to get lifted coming out, so he might get something, some sort of little private one on the bottom end of this course.
Nice, boys. Okay. Now take the height.
So Phil Robinson, he's got one more work to go.
Boys, hit it.
That's a nice shift.
Yeah. Happy numbers.
Yeah, just going to keep a little alert here, lad. Just take the height when you can.
Going in like 20 seconds, okay?
Okay, get some speed up first then.
Pressing.
We're hearing a lot of dialogue, not only from Phil, but also from Paul Campbell-James, the wingman. I mean, watching their platform, they're up and down. Not nearly as rock steady as what we're used to looking at from the Aussies and the Japanese, but keeping it fast.
Right. Not attacking, Leo.
He was just about to go for an attack and he got a big lift and he had to call it back. So that was a little bit of a moment there. You see here another moment that's about to happen. The Japanese and the Australians are coming back into it. Japan, who went to the left-hand gate, have got back in front of Australia, who went to the right.
Good pressure
pretty
coming
much
on.
fell into a pretty big hole over there, Shirley.
Not great, but okay.
You can never relax. It is never over. And we sort of saw that at the bottom, Jody, that left-hand corner. High risk.
Very much so. So now Tom Slingsby needs something off this seaside. He got it in the first race. He'd be hoping that he gets over here again. Looks like Japan are going over to the left. China are coming over here with the Aussies. China possibly have one more tack in towards the top and into the finish for their first ever win in SailGP. And they will be pretty stoked for a group of people who have got lots of sickness on board.
All right. Pressing, not able to pop. Okay, 2, 1.
Not able to pop, not enough boat speed to get both hulls out the water.
We'll be strong, we'll get stronger.
Yeah, good pressure.
So the cross between Australia and Japan is going to be very close. It's about who can get up and get foiling first and build that boat speed.
Good path there, TJ. Out shoulder.
This victory, they'll have to go around this mark and turn right. This victory will be so sweet for that Chinese team.
Okay, the Aussies and the Japanese are close again. They just will not let each other go. Australia now in front of the Japanese. He's looking around. Where's he going? What's he going into? He's not going to let him go and get something special. Meanwhile, the Chinese, all they have to do, they've got 100 metres to go to get towards that top gate. One tack to the right and into the finish in front of the big crowd on the break wall here in Marseille, who are definitely braving the elements, I must say. Good on them for doing that.
Help it down, Jimbo, help.
Japan, sorry, going right over to the right-hand ley line. You see that yellow line. And here's Phil Robertson.
Still back. Try and go neutral.
Just, that is so painful at the moment when he's trying to get up to that gate.
Yeah, it is. I think we're just...
They're supposed to be foiling these boats, but there's absolutely zero foiling going on right now.
Configurated, of course, for 20, 30 knots. So pretty underpowered, small boards, tiny jib, really difficult in this light area at the top of the course.
But just as they come in towards the finish, they're up and foiling. And here is the first win for SailGP ever for China. Well done, Team China and Phil Robinson. Awesome job.
Nice one, boys. Solid. Yeah, buddy.
The Aussies and the Japanese. The Aussies just doing enough there. to keep their momentum up and around the top of the Japanese. They're very slow around that last mark there, Shirley. Aussies are going to extend this fairly comfortable, up and foiling now. So those tacks at that very top are so painful.
Team China.
And this is a worry, I'd say, for Nathan Outridge and the Japanese team. Whatever they give, the Aussies just seem to come back.
They have got plenty of boat speed in that boat, that's for sure. Lots and lots.
I think they're sailing well too. They're sort of loose there. They're making decisions, you know, on the hoof, whereas I don't know if there's a bit of tension in the Japanese camp.
Well, a very historical race there. We have another first-time winner in China, so that's fantastic. And I cannot wait until the next race. It's going to be a cracker.
So they want to talk to us? They talk to you through that, and you talk to them through this.
Well, we're back for race number 6. And Shirley, the red bow, and a bit of a teaser. Who is it going to be?
What do you think? I think Wales, Canada, Denmark, Switzerland. I don't know, there's too many countries with red in their flag.
Well, as I am the Oracle of Flags, there are 148 countries with red in their flags. So good luck to anybody out there working it out. But it's very, very exciting. That is for sure. One thing that is also exciting is we are about to go racing again for the final race today.
Look at this, Jody. I mean, Japan trying all kinds of approaches. So difficult here in the light winds off the shelter. Approaching in port tack, the opposite direction to everyone else.
I think what they might be trying to do here, Shirley, is just stay up on the foils. They did this in the practice racing. Stayed up on the foils. It worked great for them then. And then try and get that time on distance set up for the start line. They're very, very high in the box. Everyone else is real low.
Australia look late, right at the back.
On board with the team that just got their first win ever in SailGP in China, and they're doing a nice job here again. Australia, will they be able to get into that bottom part of the mark with a bit of speed? USA do a nice job right in the middle. Australia do a great job. They're up and foiling. Also up and foiling at the top end of the course is Japan. So two definitely different approaches. Pretty much same result. Australia look quite nice there.
Great start by the Aussies. They looked like they were going to be late, Jody, but just had more pace, got on the foils, sent it.
Absolutely. And Japan have got USA to worry about here. USA might force him up and keep him away from actually getting right into that zone. Not much of a chance there for USA to do anything else. Australia just have to fold in behind the USA now. So Rome Kirby and his crew leading into the first mark for the first time. We've had so many different lead changes here. It's been fantastic in this races here today.
Nathan Outridge, the Japanese team, they're a little bit pinned there. I mean, really, they don't want to be going to it, you know, desperately hard into that left-hand side.
You see the Aussies there jived off straight around the mark. They look very, very soft coming out of that mark. Whether Tom and his crew have seen that seaside, something coming off there. It obviously worked for him a couple of times.
Wing sheet. Wait, hold your weight. Copy. Okay, trying to pop here. Okay, hit it, sir.
The angle that the Japanese and the USA had to come in from that right-hand side.
They're not going yet.
Copy, and popping.
Holding their nerve as the Australians, and up and foiling. Off they go.
I've got it.
On these small foils, the high wind foils, you need about 20 knots of boat speed in order to get the boat out of the water.
Says 10 seconds.
They've certainly got 20 knots. They've got 28 knots and going straight downwind, as opposed to the Japanese, who are still to board. Very close, very, very high there in their flight control.
Okay, turning, little faster turn.
My wheel.
Yeah.
Kyle Langford done well to stay on the boat, then he got thrown straight up out of the tramp as he was running across.
Okay. Sorry, Milky.
Hit it, boys.
So they've done well there, Australia. They jived off first, they sat it underneath that mark, they held their nerve, and it's paid off well for them because they are leading this race now with Japan just setting up for a jive. USA also coming over to this side will have to jive very, very soon. Look how far past the imaginary ley lines they've gone, Shirley. all the way to the boundary, so the angles coming into that bottom mark are massive.
I think the lines on the screens are produced obviously by the computer, by the software. You cannot trust them when conditions are so variable.
Yeah, okay, having a look.
Struggling a little here to get. Okay, there's a new pump. And trim it on. Take a dig down here.
I think we go right turn. I can't see much back the other way. Okay,
Must be just completely with his back turned to the boat, looking for the wind, trying to figure out which gate he wants to
adding a bit of rudders here, Milky.
to set himself up for the work.
Okay,
He's called
going max
right
stiff here,
gate at the bottom.
Okay, turning up in 2, 1. Turning up.
Which is the left-hand one for us looking at the screen. You must feel confident that at the moment there's pressure on that left-hand side, but it's a massive danger area over there.
Stand by.
Look at the lead. This is the first leg. They've already got a 250-metre lead on the rest of the fleet. So an absolutely amazing job they've done of driving out early, holding their nerve, getting in that fresh breeze, and just sending it downhill. Now they've got to link it all up. Now they've got to get back up the top, which is easier than it sounds.
1, going forward.
I think Nathan Outridge is going to be really frustrated by today. He's been going fast, making some good decisions, but giving it away.
Japan went around that right-hand gate, but then threw it straight into attack. Looks like there's been a massive left-hand shift. And as you can see there by that shot, the Australians and the Japanese are pretty much going straight back upwind towards the top end of the mark. And that's why he threw it.
Aussies right under the graphic, but they are super light. 2 hulls in the water. And look at the American boat, my goodness.
This is painful. These guys have got all the small gear on. We're expecting 20 knots. We're expecting heaps of action. And we're sitting here watching these F-50s just drifting into this bottom mark. But we know that will change in a blink of an eye. Rome Kirby just looking around, seeing what can we do to get out of this. Have a go at the angle the Aussies and the Australians, the Aussies and the Japanese are doing. But you can see at the top of the screen, there's a little puff of breeze coming down. Who's going to get that breeze first? Who will be able to bear away, get their boat up on the foil?
Yeah. So it looks like this is going to stay left and then maybe fade right.
They've gone very soft fluid.
Yeah, you've seen some of the
looks on
crew
our
members
hip.
moving forward in the boat,
see a
just
left,
pushing
right
the weight
hander
out
up
of
ahead.
the back of the boat. This is real light wind displacement sailing.
This is where your nerves have to be of steel. You just have to trust your instincts, wait for it to come, and not make any rash decisions to turn the boat, to do a tackle or whatever, because you lose so much time. You just have to keep it moving.
We just keep it rumbling if we get a bit more pace. Yeah, he's just shutting down now.
Okay, so we're
Going to be able to pop
we're about to go back and have a look at the start.
2, 1.
Hey! Protest. Got it. Okay, pressing hard here.
Well, you can see the
Mark
pace
is up, Klinger.
of the
Yeah, just gotta
Aussie
build.
team. You know, they hung
Okay,
back,
heel
they
here, boys,
got
let's lock it in.
accelerated quickly, and they were in the position on the
Okay,
start
rolling
line.
up a little.
Nicely done.
He's done a great job there of forcing Phil Robertson and China up out of the way to clear his air. It's a beautiful job there by
We've got to
the
just
Australians.
try to stay on the foils.
And that's what got him into that great position. But we're back to live action now, and this is what they call H1. It's 1 hull in the water. The Aussies are 2 hulls in the water. So right now we should have the big jibs on and the big foils and all that sort of thing, but we can't change.
Good boat
Yeah.
speed here from the Japanese. You know, nearly 50% more than the Aussies. So keeping it rumbling. That's what Nathan said. Keep it rumbling. Go as fast as you can in what you've got. Kai Hurst having a rest.
The Iron Man, he's having a little bit of a break from
coming on
grinding.
here in 3 seconds.
Keeping nice and low for the
there at the
aerodynamics,
moment.
keeping his weight forward to keep the back of the boat out of the water.
Yeah, we'll get it here. We'll
He's
get
not
it
asleep. He's just
I don't
getting his
know,
heart rate
big
back.
header.
So we are still in this real low, slow mode of sailing. Every sailor's looking around Shirley. What do? You just go from edge to edge. You just got to wait for the breeze to come at you.
I think at the moment, either way, you're almost 2 hulls in around that top mark. Yeah, good pressure here. Take everyone, I think.
Which way gets us offshore faster?
I think right-hand turn. Right-hand turn is my bet right now. The right-hand mark looks way closer to us.
Well, Luke Parkinson, Luke Parkinson asking the question, how are we going to get away from the shore quickest? Right-hand mark, I think, was his call.
Yeah, and I think wherever the breeze is would be my answer, but we can't see any wind here at the moment. It is very, very light.
You know we're okay on eagle.
They're not even trying to pop up on a hull yet. They're just trying to keep that windward hull out of the water to reduce the drag. Still got 2 crewmen in the lure there, as you see.
I'm just looking at the bar along the bottom, Jody. That battle for 3rd place, very, very real. China within touching distance, 2 points of the British boat. The British boat is a long way back.
They are a long way back indeed, but it's hard to make up any time when the breeze is so light. We just have to pray and hope that we get up here. Looks like a bit of a rain squall's gone through the course area. Once this rain pushes through, the wind hopefully will arrive. And we'll see these awesome flying machines do what they do best, to get up on the foils and
When
get
the
out.
foil height says minus,
That's not good.
you know it's slow. It means that the hulls are very much in the water.
Yes, absolutely.
Which angle's lifted?
Doesn't mean
we're
they're actually
lifted, so
sinking,
attacking
but it's not good. Very light tack here. The Aussies, they would love to be able to make this top mark. I'm not sure where they're going to do from down there, Shirley. Maybe if they have to do 2 tacks, that's going to be pretty painful.
Or 1 tack and go to the left-hand mark. You know, but left-hand side is
Really light breeze, isn't it? Yeah.
A little bit above us here. Yep. Work it down a bit of pressure. It's a bit of a header.
It looks easy, ladies and gentlemen,
got the
but
wheel down, mate.
this is the hardest kind of sailing. It really is. You're going to take a deep breath, lower the heart rate.
Hayley will be proud. She always thinks we do best in the NACRA when we're not foiling, even though I'm meant to be a good... Yeah.
Ian Jensen, wing trimmer
She'll
on the
be cheering.
Japanese. Just it looked like he was just chewing his audio set, but he was looking at the numbers on his screen.
Copy.
Nathan just giving his sister Hayley a shout
Yeah,
out
but he
there
entered the zone
about how they sail their NACRA, and they reckon that they go well in the light airs, and that's exactly what Nathan's doing at the moment. A little bit of a cross coming here between Australia and France.
This is regardless. Change of instructions. Course is now being shortened to finish at the leeward gate. Course short. Finish at the leeward gate.
So we've just heard there will be a shortening of this race because the wind has died. They will finish at the end of the next leg at the leeward gate. So 1 more leg remaining on race 3 of today.
Let us wing.
We have a penalty on France. Penalty on France, so we'll hear from
This is the umpires. This is the umpires. We have penalty France against Australia. You didn't have room at the mark.
So there you go. The penalty is against Australia. They didn't have room at the mark, so France must have had entered into the zone first, which we couldn't quite see, and they had to give France room to get into that mark. So that's going to saying there's a penalty on France here on the graphic.
Australia had entered that zone first, but they parked up in no end, and I think Billy Beeson thought he could just swing it round on the inside.
Getting rolled here.
So Billy must now slow his boat down and wait to Australia is back ahead.
Here comes Bill.
Penalty clear. Penalty clear.
Penalty clear.
Very tight here now between France, USA, Australia, all drifting up the very top. USA actually have to go up and around France as they have dead set parked it up. Look at the angles these boats are doing, Shirley. They've only got to get down to the bottom. That's the good news for the boats, but at this speed it's going to take about 10 hours. That's a long way down there in absolutely no wind. Australia got a little bit of breeze to separate themselves from the USA and French.
Open suggestions in this light stuff. I'm shocked.
A little bit of breeze, just the weather here.
USA is going to hit this boundary for us. There's nothing over the British side on this right side. think Japan's even going to drive. Did they say finish at the leeward
gate?
Oh, yeah. Japan's driving beneath us, so I think we're going the right way.
Yeah.
Gotta watch that boundary.
So you can see there the
problem is gonna
confusion
be
is
this
just
race,
all
fellas.
over the fleet. They don't know what to do. They're all looking around, looking for wind.
Passed by everyone.
Looks like the breeze has absolutely evaporated completely on the course, so they're just looking for any sort of sign of anything dark on the course, which will indicate where the wind's coming from.
We get going, eh?
Yeah.
Richard Slater, Chief Umpire. It's Shirley here in comms. Just while we've got a moment, it would be great if you could explain that penalty that was allocated to France.
Hi Shirley. Yes, it was a very low-speed rules example. When Australia got to the zone of the mark, they were actually clear ahead. So Australia then went and did 2 tacks, and they were always entitled to the room to go around that mark. When French dived inside them, they prevented Australia from sailing their course, and so we penalised France.
Thank you, Richard.
Well, they're still in the drift off. Have a go at where these boats are, Shirley. Halfway down the run, they're downhill, and these boats are doing 5.5, 6 knots of breeze. Sailors are up the front. The interest level on board seems to be very, very low because they just can't do anything. They're just stuck, waiting for the wind.
I'm not sure about that. Nathan Outridge is fully locked on. Look at him looking around, looking for pressure. I mean, we heard him on the comm say to his crew, you know, we could get passed by everyone here. I need to be absolutely on it.
Half of them are asleep.
Yep. Good pressure on us right now. Maybe build a bit of speed here and then we'll charge, boys.
Okay, so we're still on the way downhill. It's very, very light. Japan trying to just jibe out off that boundary. They were probably worried about getting too close and getting stuck on the boundary because they've still got a bit of a lead relative to the rest of the fleet. France surely looked like they might have picked something up in the middle of the course there. But boy, it is so light here. It will be so nerve-wracking being on these boats as we speak right now.
Well, we're obviously experts, Jodie, because we've got this lovely helicopter shot. But to me, it looks like there was pressure on that right-hand side. And I think we see France getting a little bit of that.
Just going through a jibe now. There's a lot of black cloud in behind them too. If you look up behind the French centerboard, daggerboard that's just going up there, the breeze definitely looked a little bit darker on the water. So are they going to be able to link that pressure up and pull some great positions back? But at this stage, boats are doing 3.5, 4 knots, 6 knots. The Great Britain will be loving this because they might catch the breeze and bring it all the way to the rest of the fleet and come back from their last position. But it is super, super light out there at the moment. Looks like Japan might have picked up that little bit of pressure. I don't think they got the lead they had. It looked like they had probably a 300 odd metres, and now they might have this fleet might be bringing pressure down as you see in displacement boat racing. The boats behind bring the breeze to the boats in front. That might be what's happening here, Shirley.
Currently, the fastest boat in this fleet is the Americans, 11, 12 knots. And of course, once you get a bit of pace, then you're off.
Ready. So, the wind has pulled off a fantastic disappearing act on us, and that means that this race is overrunning. So for those of you watching us on traditional television channels, I'm afraid we're going to have to say goodbye to you now. But if you want to continue watching and see how this third and final fleet race of the second ever racing here at the Marseille SailGP Grand Final ends, then you can do so digitally on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, and on the SailGP app. Right now, though, moves continue as the F50s battle it out in the middle of this downwind leg, making their way to the finish. Join us tomorrow, though, if you can. We'll be here in Marseille for 2 fleet races to classify 3rd to 6th position, then the toe-to-toe championship final race at 3:30. We'll see you then.
I'm still trying to build.
So still looking around a lot, trying to find what options they've got. Definitely looks like there's breeze coming down this boundary side, Shirley. If they can sort of link them in, stay with them. It's, now all of a sudden, if the Australians get a little bit of pressure there, these 3 boats might be back in the picture.
We've got space. Just okay. Just calm down. Shut up, everybody. Shut up and calm down.
Jimmy, small ease to me.
You got to watch the numbers, boys.
Good there, hold that.
Okay, stand by, guys.
Even the excitement levels getting elevated on board, Shirley, just trying to calm them down.
I know how he feels. When it gets like this and everyone's talking, it's just way too much noise.
We've got a big lefty coming. Well, I'm 60.
Yeah, I'm just worried that's just the velocity. It's worth a go, isn't it? There's something in front of us. You see the ribs over here?
The bottom marks looking at flags. Okay, I'm 90 here. The Aussies are moving nicely. I'm 100.
The number he's calling is the heading.
Australia done quite nice off that right-hand side, that they were behind most of these boats in this bunch. It looks like they've pulled at least 2 back. The Chinese are possibly still in front if that breeze that Phil Robinson was calling for comes in. But at this stage, Australia are the fastest boat on the water.
Yeah, you reckon that might be a bit of lefty, Milky?
Yeah, could be, I reckon. Could be.
Yeah.
Like the jet work. Yeah. Just ease wing there a little, just stand still, reshuffle a little.
So the Aussie
really
calling it to a shift in breeze, the wind going round to the left, and you saw the angle of the boats come down towards the marks. Phil Robertson could be well placed here.
Remember, this is the last leg. We're finishing downwind, so it's all about who can link this up and get to the downwind to take this win for the 3rd and final race here today.
Chinese hold that spot. They will go into 3rd place on the overall standings.
So with 100 metres to go in the slowest race we've seen so far here in SailGP, it looks like Japan have done the best job in linking all these tiny puffs in. And over they go for a very slow wing.
Well done, guys. Smash that one out of the park.
Good work, boys. It's a long way around to drive, isn't it?
So just coming in the screen now is the Australians. So halfway up that downhill, they were looking like they were in 5th spot. They held their nerve. They went out to sea. They got a little bit of pressure the other boats didn't get, which has put them back. We're worried about them losing 3 or 4 places to the Japanese now that it looks like they're only going to lose 1 point.
Oh no, we taxed before anyone. Exactly, like we do. Huge lead. That's good. Okay, nice day, guys. Sorry about that one. But
and there it is, the Aussies over for 2nd. Well done to them.
Nice, boys. Woo! $1 million race coming up. Yeah. The next race will be
Welcome to the final day, Shirley. It is finally upon us. The day we have all been waiting for since the first race in Sydney. And look at the breeze. It is very, very light indeed. With 20 seconds to go, the boats are very close to the start line.
So light at the top of the course here. Better as we go down, and so hard to get your time and distance on this.
So China, Phil Robinson, the world match racing champion, he's in for the podium. He's got a chance. He's trying to be the aggressor here. He's pushing the boats up. As you can see, USA is just above him, and they are slowly going over the start line. We're not quite sure where the Great British team is at this start. So there's only 4 boats. We need to emphasise that. The Australians and the Japanese don't have to race this fleet racing. They are currently out on the course doing a little bit of training and getting ready for the big grand final race. But these boats are still waiting for a final position. So it's between China and the USA at this stage, only doing 10 knots, Shirley. Very light underneath this breakwall.
Well, it'd be good to see what happens to Great Britain, Jodie. I mean, we heard on the onboard comms, Phil Robertson, the World Match Race champion, said, let's take it to the Brits. So I suspect there was a little bit of argy-bargy before the start.
Just desperately trying to get up and fall in there is the USA, but it is very light out there indeed.
Trying to pop. Maybe, yes, trying to pop. No, it did.
They've got the big boards on today, the small rudders. They need about 15 knots of boat speed in order to pop. We can hear them say that on board. And there they go. It's amazing, isn't it, Jodie? Hardly any wind, and these boats are flying.
They are so efficient. It is unbelievable, and they're up and going. They're already doing 23 knots in around about 8 knots, like you said. We still haven't seen where the British boat is, so there they are, right on cue. They've finally decided to join the party with the rest of the 3 boats, so they've obviously had a bit of a shocker at that start. Not exactly sure what's happened there, but the race is on here between USA. Rome Kirby hasn't had the best weekends at all. Shirley, he was a chance of getting into the final. Slim may it be. Now he's duking it out for the final, like to get away from the wooden spoon position.
Go, Rome. I'm trying. Roll it, Pete. Set it down. Yep. Straight into a pop. Yep. 2, 1, now popping. Big trim.
Yeah, Rome Kirby had a bit of gear failure early on and just never ever found his groove. But good to see him out on the front of the pack today.
And none of these skippers, as competitive as they are, not one skipper in this fleet wants to get that final position in the fleet after season 1, because it's a long off season to wear that. And the USA are certainly doing the best job to keep that title away from them, because they're coming into the bottom gate for the first time. 25 knots of boat speed and about 8 knots of breeze. Not many boats in the world can do that, Shirley. And it looks like it's pretty much a one-way course at this stage, Shirley. The breeze looks like it might have gone a fairly bit hard right with the height that these boats are coming out of that bottom gate.
Oh, the Americans just lost a massive amount of pace.
We're only seeing about 6 knots of boats wind speed on the water off these boats. So very, very light at this stage. British coming back in.
I would not write Dylan Fletcher and his British team off. You know, and all the practice racing and all the conditions, they have been very fluid, very fast, good manoeuvring. And yeah, I would be wary of them.
It was an interesting when you said manoeuvring. They just did a real late-minute decision to bail out and go to that right-hand gate. So maybe they're seeing the rest of the fleet is parked up in a big hole, so they want to go to the other side of the course and maybe go right around the rest of this fleet. So we'll soon see how that unfolds. China looking like they're probably the first one to disappear away from the hole. Poor old Rome Kirby in the USA. His weekend of despair is continuing. He's just got into a hole and he needs to get out of it.
I just think, Jodie, they don't mode very well, and the conditions here are ever changing, and you need like a really experienced team, and I think they just don't really make those transitions terribly well.
You can see there the Aussies are just parked off the side of the course. They're getting themselves geared up for this big grand final, which we're all waiting for. We cannot wait for Japan versus Australia, but we still have to find out who is going to make the podium. And that's exactly what we're doing right here. Phil Robertson, he's had a good weekend so far, Shirley. They weren't going to race yesterday. They were sick. They were literally 5 minutes away from being pulled out of the water, and they dug deep to get that boat in, took their first win for the season, and they've just turned it around. So good on them.
I think they've been a real different team here. They have a new coach, Ben Durham, America's Cup veteran. And he's steadied it all down. The boat seems, I don't know, it seems lighter. And whenever we go to the onboards, they're laughing and joking. And there's a real kind of team spirit, a camaraderie that we haven't necessarily seen before. And we're seeing that now on the racetrack.
You can see here the British have definitely caught up from going to that right-hand gate at the bottom. They've just taken the stern of Rome Kirby in the USA, who are still struggling to get up on the foils. So have a look at how light it is over where China and France are. So the British, if they can come over here and link into a bit of pressure, they could just steal the lead from nothing.
Just trying to look for which ones are windward. There's so many marks around. Over there, mate. Those ones, copy. Still press here.
This could be interesting if conditions are like this for the grand final match, Shirley. We could have snakes and ladders everywhere.
The British are doing really well of linking that pressure together. I mean, they look like they've got an engine compared to everybody else. They're doing really well. Great boat speed.
The French now and the Chinese just getting a little bit of a left-hander at the top of the course, which has taken them up to the gate. So that may hurt the British coming in from the right. Looks like the breeze, they might have just fallen out of that. They're slowly, as you can see, they can't foil. So it's only literally one hull up.
Well, out on the water, we have Lisa Darmanin, silver medalist from Rio. Lisa, what can you see?
Shirley, it's so patchy out here, but really for the sailors, it's all about risk reward. Those that are willing to burn a little bit of distance to pop up on the foils are going to come out on top. But I tell you what, it is tough racing out here.
It seems pretty hard to link that pressure together.
Yeah, what's happening is with the breeze coming off the shore, you don't really see it until it's at your boat. So it's really hard for these athletes to try and anticipate the race course. So it is almost an advantage to be behind in this race, see what's happening to the boats ahead.
Well, thanks, Lisa.
And the big news, what we're at Lisa then, is the French team are leading this race. So they're coming around, they've gone to the left-hand gate and they're going back in towards the city, which is quite interesting because that's where the big left-hander was with this team coming in. China went over to the out to the sea, and you can see there they've stopped. So can the French, which are just popping into the screen now, stay into this wind and take themselves down? Remember, they're the only team, Shirley, that haven't won a race at all this season. So to win this in your hometown, imagine the celebrations. It would be absolutely amazing for them.
Look.
I'm not sure what the Chinese can do in this situation, Jody. All three boats flying round the outside.
Looks pretty relaxed there. Up and going now is the Chinese, so that time would have stood still for Phil Robertson and his crew to wait for that wind to come. And now he comes to cross. Looks like France are doing quite well. They're doing a big angle across the course, which means it's very light. As Lisa said, they've got to bleed some miles to keep up on the foils. But they're still in front, only just is the French. Looks like both boats still have to do multiple jibes at this stage to get down to the bottom. So they're doing big angles. Normally you see them heading straight down towards the gate.
It's like a pinball machine, Jody. They're bouncing off those boundaries.
I love it.
Okay, Max Babili.
He looks pretty cool there, Billy. He's eyeing it off. You see here Billy Besson just looking down there to see how the gate is, to try and get his angle right and to know when he's going to jibe. Have a go at his heart rate, Shirley.
Well, we've just heard from race management. They will finish this race at the leeward gate. Can Billy Besson keep it together and claim his first victory?
He has just fallen into a hole right at the most inappropriate time. Billy Besson, blow in your wings, do whatever you can, get that boat up and going. We want to see the French get a bit of breeze. I'm not sure what French is, but I reckon that is saying, where's the wind, where's the wind, where's the wind? So here we are, the French They're not that far away now. They've literally, can they drift over the line here, Shirley? They've got 20 metres to go. China is coming back in a hurry. He's doing 5 times his boat speed. Shirley, can they do it?
Keep it down.
I can't watch, Jody.
We have to watch. We have to watch. Here they go, the French. Have they got it? Yes, they have. They've finally won a race on home quarters. Well done, Billy. That's amazing.
And that's a great cheer from the crowd. They were wishing him over that line.
I think everybody was wishing him over the line. We're all pushing towards him to say, get over the line. And look at the ecstatic. That's great. That is unbelievable on your home waters. He might owe the race control a little bit of a nice red wine after that one for finishing it down there, but good on them. Well done. That's amazing.
Second for Phil Robertson in China, putting them in that 3rd spot. Mary Ryu, the flight controller, also Billy's crew in the Olympic class in the NACRA. Solid team.
And you can see at the top of the course over on the right-hand side, poor old Britain, they have found more holes than a golf course out here today. They are just stopping everywhere. But you've got the USA, they're not doing much better. They need to get down here. Every point counts because they're the French, who they were duking it out with for that bottom position, they've put one boat in him at least, so he needs to make sure he doesn't bleed 2 spots here. He might get timed out. We have got a timeout after the first boat's finished, and that's at the discretion of the race control. So they would be hoping, surely, to get down here pretty quick.
All 4 boats that we're watching racing. I mean, they're really, it's their first season in SailGP. Is a massive apprenticeship. It's great to see them. It's great to see Billy winning a race. That is fantastic. It means a lot, these races.
Absolutely. I mean, they're not going to make the final dance, but look at this. Now, this means something. Exactly like you said, it means everything to these guys. And we're just watching the USA slowly trying to get over the line. Shirley, for a short race, it had everything. It was cool as. Yeah. We are starting to race. The Aussies have entered, and the Japanese are still connected to their chase boat. So this could be quite interesting. They've got to get in and race. Will Thompson next week take advantage of this?
Okay, we are
going up.
Will he try and block him out, or will he just get into the box and get his nerves in? There's an early entry for Tom Slingsby, so he has a slight penalty
Australia,
to take.
Early entry. Penalty Australia, early entry.
So we just got to enter and we're all good.
Yeah, and stay clear of them. They're going to be coming back at us fast, right?
So that means big mistake by the Australian team. That means that they have to start behind Japan, behind the opposition. So massive error early on. Massive.
So all that advantage that they got from that port end side and all the lead up to the points has been nothing by about probably 1.5 to 2 seconds. So now the Australians, will they try and get a penalty on Japan to try and even it out? Or will Japan just sail straight away from them? What I'd be doing if I was Japan, I wouldn't go near them.
Going forward.
Advantage at this stage to Japan.
You got 55 seconds, mate.
Yeah, but slingshot time on distance start above at the moment, okay, boys? Forward up, please.
Just look at the heart rates on Slingsby.
Keep an eye on time, lads.
So we heard Nathan's voice, a slingshot approach, which means he's going to come from above with pace, cross that start line as fast as he can. The Australian team, though, slow.
The Australians cannot do anything. That's the problem. They've got a penalty. They can't attack. They can't put pressure on. So Nathan and his crew can just pull the trigger from wherever he likes. And as long as he nails that start line, it doesn't go over at the start, they can be going for it. So here we go. Japan's starting to wind up now from way at the very top of the box. 26, 27 knots. Remember, Australia have to start behind them. So will they play a little bit of cats and dogs, or will they just pull the trigger and go firing? I think they're going to pull the trigger and go firing, because here we go with 3 seconds to go. 2-1, the grand final is on, and it is Japan on the top end of the course, and Australia below. Japan doing a nice job there. Will they get across to the first mark? in good
Don't
spot.
push it too hard.
Yeah,
Looks
copy.
like the penalty is off for Australia,
Looks like
Shirley.
we're
So
going
what do you
to
think of that start?
Great start by the Aussies. I mean, they could not have managed that better. Absolutely at top speed crossing the line.
Yes, well done to both boats. We're only about 2 boat lengths apart. A little bit of wing wash coming on the Australians, but I don't think it's going to bother them that much. Japan through the first mark in first place. Will Australia jibe off early, or are they going to try and push them over? Looks like they're going to jibe off early. There goes the board down. Will Nathan Outridge, will he match that manoeuvre, or will he just try and sail his own race, Shirley?
Standing by, my wing, going forward.
He's taking his time, he's picking his moment, he's not being forced into making a decision.
Nice job there by Tom Slingsby and the Australian crew to get that jibe in. And it looks like they've got a nice bit of pressure down that mid-side. Japan are a little bit slow coming out of that jibe. You see them have to be a little bit higher in their bows to wind the boat up. In a minute, they'll turn and roughly turn towards the same angle that Australia have done, but that was a great job there by the Australians to jibe early.
2, 1, lock, turning.
Australia now on starboard. They have all the rights until they get into the zone.
And Japan just sneaking over the front. Looks like Nathan's going to slam one right in front of his face just to make Tommy have to follow him in here to this bottom mark. And that was a nice, risky manoeuvre, but nice manoeuvre there by Japan. Good job by them.
Stand by. Keep the build on. Yeah, board down.
This race is so on, Jody. There's like a boat length between them.
Will we expect anything more from these two combatants? We knew this was going to happen. There's been talk about, will they split, will they do their own thing? No way. This race is going to go right to the end. Good job, attack there by the Australians who have peeled out first, and hopefully, for their sake, getting over to this right-hand side to that little bit of pressure that's coming down the course. Will Nathan Outridge and his team of Japan go all the way to the boundary and just back himself? We'll soon see.
I will.
Looks like they've gone a long way over there for the tack, Shirley.
No higher, no higher. All right.
You know, the Japanese are fast. They're good at maneuvers.
Stand by.
Australia look quite nice there. Japan just coming off that left-hand boundary. Australia's setting up for their tack now. If they're ever going to do a good foiling tack, now is the time to do it, because they need to nail this one and get up and going, which it looks like they've done. But Japan look great from that left-hand side at this stage.
Crossing quite easily.
Do you want to hit or not? All right.
I'm happy. We're not close. We're too close to hit. Just across.
Well, it's very, very close. You hear Nathan say too close to hit him, which means he wants to tack on top of him. So the Australians, there's nothing in it. They were about that far apart at the bottom mark, and they're still the same distance after a big tack from both boats going to either side of the course. Now Australia heading over the left. Japan want to follow. That's pretty smart move by Nathan Outridge.
It would be a massive advantage to be the right-hand bow on the screen. You're on starboard, you've got all the rights.
My right.
Yeah, he looks quite nice there off his hips to the right-hand side. Looks like it's paid off there for Japan, because if Australia attack now, Japan might have pulled another couple of boat lengths out of him. Unless they get a little left-hander, which Australia might be a little bit bowed down, so they might get something from the left here. Australia look like they look like they're about to get up, set up to go for attack. Kyle Langford got ready to jump up out of the cockpit. Tommy called him to come back down. So they're happy just to keep smoking on over this left-hand side of the course. Maybe make the ley line, Shirley.
I think we can. We just got to watch the traffic.
Here they go, the Australians setting up now.
Speed build here. My wheel, call the exit angle. Yeah, we'll go left mark here. Close the mark.
This could be a massive gain for the Japanese team. They want to go to that left-hand side, and they have nailed that ley line to the left-hand mark.
There is still absolutely nothing. I'd call 2 boat lengths at best between these two boats, but like you said, Nathan Outridge and Co have already got around the top mark, and they are heading downhill another 10 knots quicker than what the Aussies are. The Aussies up now around the left-hand gate as we're looking at it. So big decision, big splitting decisions there between the two boats. Slingsby and the Australians done all right driving first on that first downhill leg, so will it pay off again, surely?
Tom Slingsby very happy with his choice and with his speed, and we can see that. They're nearly 3 knots quicker than the Japanese.
This is the final downwind leg, so we are been waiting all year for this, and we have got a couple of legs to go, and it is still a nothing between these boats, which is exactly how we wanted it.
Waves here.
Tom Slingsby has not got a heartbeat according to that rating. 73 beats per minute. It's pretty cool.
The Aussies have been faster all the way down here. This is neck and neck.
Japan look a little bit higher in the bows there. They're coming up. They're on a little bit of a lift coming up in towards the Aussies. So the Aussies will be taking a little bit of time out. Here comes the Aussies now setting up for their jibe.
My wheel. Okay.
All right.
Aussies on starboard, right of way boat. Must avoid the
going hard here.
It's almost like action replay of the first down.
We've got the inside, I think.
Distance is exactly the same, but they've done a nice job there. Australians, will they be able to roll over the top of the Japanese and come into this zone first? Oh, is it? Oh, very, very close there. Australia, Japan try to get up underneath the Australians and push them off. Not sure whether he had an overlap there. We'll soon see from the umpires.
Call it.
It's not there, lock now.
Australia done what we call an eagle. So 2 boards in, they had to get 2 boards to get down into the zone. Japan got really badly hurt out of that, Shirley.
Terrible, no boat speed. They went very aggressively to get the penalty and didn't get it.
And has that been the move, the $1 million move that lost him this race? We'll soon see. Very, very aggressive, as you said there, Shirley. He was trying to keep Tommy and the Australians out of that zone, but he pushed him up, didn't have the overlap, and Tommy had enough to just go around in front of him. So we're on the final leg now of the championship race for the 2019 SailGP Grand Final, and it is the Australians, Tom Slingsby, leading the charge into this race. Got a couple of tacks to go. He's going over to possibly cover the Japanese, Shirley. How do they think they're going to come out of that other side?
How are we doing there, Milky? Have a look at him. Yeah, looking good.
they seem happy, the Australian team. They're looking good. They're confident that they're crossing.
Well, that move could come back to haunt Nathan Outridge. It looks like he'd get a little bit of breeze there, but the Australians look fantastic as well up on the left. There's about a 100-metre difference on the grids. But once they get to actually crossing, I think it's only going to be about 4 boat lengths at best. You reckon Australia will just slam one straight on top of them, or will he go over and set himself up for the top mark? Remember, we're finishing at the top mark here. This is the final leg. We do not have a reach into the finish. They are finishing at the top mark.
Regardless, please disregard. We have been unable to move the finishing mark.
Have a look
at it. Close. So close.
What's the mark here? Eagle, eagle, eagle. No, we're good. Copy.
You hear him say eagle, 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 and Tommy says no, we're good. So what that means is Kyle was calling, do we need that other foil down? Look how close that is.
Going.
Copy.
Wow. Oh my God. Anyway.
Nathan's mistake, though, Jody, was picking what turned out to be the wrong side at that top mark. He let the Australians take the right-hand side of the course. More pressure, more speed, and they came right back into the game.
And that's exactly what they did in that first lap, so I'm surprised they made the mistake twice, but we're not that far away from the finish. We've got a couple of 100 metres to go. Australia are leading the grand final here in Marseille. Tommy Slingsby would be very, very happy with where he's getting his boat up. Maybe one more tack to go, or will they make it down from there? It all started with a win in Sydney, then an emotional victory in San Francisco. They were beaten in New York. They dominated in Cowes. It's time to get up and party. Australia is the 2019 SailGP champion.
Well, Jody, I think their screams said it all. That means everything.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing. You got to feel for these guys. Congratulations to the Japanese for getting in the final. But Australia has been the most dominant boat all year, and they deserve it, Shirley. They deserve it. Look at the emotion on board, as you can imagine.
What a roller coaster. Massive mistake, entering early, such an unforced error.
But they never gave up. They never gave up.